Was Slaughterhouse a remake of D12? I had always wondered that.
Not at all. Slaughterhouse was actually formed. We were formed on the internet because guys like Mecca with influence, they noticed that there was a lot of guys on a major stage collaborating with each other. So Swagger Like Us was a song with a bunch of juggernauts on the song.
Right.
So I think people were just kind of tired of like the commercial aspect of it and the friendly aspect of it.
Right.
And felt like that there were a lot of guys on the internet, which was considered the underground at that time, that were lyrically killing shit. And there was a lot of people who felt like lyrics needed to come back because hip hop as a genre had morphed into so many different things over the years at that time. You know, we went through the snap dance era, we went through the big baggy white t-shirt era, we went through the South era, we went through so many different things that some people may have been kind of displeased with and just was kind of ready. You know what I mean? Just kind of ready for people to kind of unite.
Just bars.
Just for the sake of hearing some bars.
In different areas, Jersey, California,
But we
Detroit.
didn't know that people were gonna like take to it like that. So when they reacted the way that they reacted, our thing was to just keep doing it. Just keep doing it and see where it can go.
I knew. Fuck out of here, I knew.
You knew that we were gonna become a group?
Fuck it. Once y'all squashed the beef, I figured, when I saw y'all doing more than one thing, I was like, all right, they're gonna start rocking.
Did you ever get PC off of that?
Not. All I wanted was the varsity jacket. I didn't even want not shit.
What varsity jacket?
Yeah, I had a varsity jacket on one of the covers. It was a Slaughterhouse varsity jacket. That was the only thing I actually wanted for my contribution.
Can my man get his varsity jacket? Get that man his varsity jacket. Get his varsity jacket.
You know what? I think my wife had that made.
It was a black white leather sleeves, black varsity jacket, SH right here. Shit was so brolic. It was the only thing I ever called a label and asked for.
No, the label didn't make those.
No, I didn't know who to ask.
Yeah,
it was the only thing, and that shit was on the cover.
I think my wife may have had that one made. I think it was just one of those that existed. Who had it on? Was it Joe?
No, nobody had it on. Nobody was wearing it.
What is he talking about, Keno?
I'll show you. If I find it, I'll find it.
He got it.
Because I know I had one. It had the pig on the back and it had
then
my
why
signature
are you asking?
right.
Yeah, why? So you know what I'm talking about.
Okay, so you're talking about the one that my wife had made. I can get you one of those made.
There you go.
I can do that. That's the least I can do. That's the least I can do.
My man.
Sir.
I love and respect you and appreciate you for that
Insight.
for that inspiration and for that suggestion. You know what I mean? I love and appreciate Keno for the suggestion that he made during that situation and in that process. Because listen, man, if you just left me to my normal toxic way of dealing with things, I was gonna fuck Joe up in my mind. Assuming I could fuck Joe up, I was gonna fuck Joe up in my mind. You know what I mean? Because I felt like he crossed such a major line, and what we could do together, just coming together, wasn't even a thought in my mind. Like nothing had ever happened to me prior where I can even put that kind of a thought in my mind. You know what I mean?
You know when I knew y'all would make for a group? Because when I lied to you about what Joe said, and I lied to him about what you said, y'all both said the same thing in response.
Which was what?
I asked Joe to get on it. Joe said, who's on it? I named all the names. First thing he said was, what did Royce say? And I said, Royce said, if you ain't beefing, he ain't beefing. That was a lie. That was a huge lie. I hadn't even spoken to Royce yet. Right. That was a huge lie.
Yeah.
And Joe said, all right, cool, because I've always felt like that was some internet shit anyway. I ain't really have no real problem.
Yeah, I ain't really had no real problem.
And then I called him.
And you did the same thing.
And I said the exact same shit. He said, all right, cool, because that beef shit sounded corny anyway, but tell Joe, if he come out his face, I'll blow his fucking head off.
Well, you know what?
And I was like, yeah, that'll work. That's what I'll tell him.
You know what though? Back then, like when he did that, I just kind of wanted to see him. I wanted to see him face to face. So after we ended up starting a group and we started looking at shit in retrospect, we started talking about what each other was thinking in those moments before we got cool with each other. He told me that he wrote a diss record about me, and his boy Brandon and them talked him out of releasing it. I also
Shout
wrote,
out to Killer BH.
You also wrote.
I also wrote
a diss
plenty of diss records about him.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of them were on Bar Exam 2, right? So that's what he really was tripping about. He was like, all right, I said that one thing about Royce. He get that one response, but this nigga just keep taking shots at me. You know what I'm saying? So he did like a video saying, tell Royce the 5'9", I said, if he say one more thing about me, I'm gonna tear his ass up. And I remember him making that video, and I remember me trying to do like at least 100 different variations of a response video. And Vish kept telling me, no, that ain't it.
Shout out to Kid
No,
Vicious.
that ain't it. And then I went and did another record. All I remember is saying something about Tahiri in it, and Kino calling me and telling me, nah, you shouldn't release that. That's gonna blow up in your face. You shouldn't do that. And I remember being mad at him. So when we finally got on the phone, I got on the phone with him, but I went against my better judgment and did that. And when I got on the phone with him, he didn't even mention the beef at all.
I was nervous as shit.
He didn't.
I had just given him each other's number.
He didn't mention the beef at all. So when we finally did the song, and it reacted the way that it reacted, me, him, and Kino got on the phone, and I remember me and him being like, "Listen, me and you need to do more." But I was saying just me and you, and me and Joe was on some shit like, "All right, me and you gonna do more shit." Kino was like, "Nah, it should be all y'all." And it's like, I was like, yo, why are we gonna just keep making fucking songs? You know what I'm saying? Like, making posse cuts. He was like, nah, y'all should be a group. I remember him saying that.
You know what, too, though, Mac, what you don't know? He ain't want to do the song. But at that time, we just got out of jail. So we ain't know where we stood. Crooked was, I don't know if you remember this, Crooked was on fire with hip hop.
Because he was doing those weekly
Of course I remember.
He
joints.
asked him he asked him to get on the song, and Crooked didn't do it.
So I wasn't really fucking with Crooked.
So Joel was getting hot, and then Joe was Joe. So when he was talking about this and niggas, my thing was, we don't really know these other niggas he fucking with, and we wasn't gonna beat them all. I didn't think so at that time. I was like, but if you get on the record with them and you flame them, then it's a win-win for us, cause you gonna get their fans and you get out rap.
Who had
Going
the
out of
hottest verse on
competition.
that? Who had the hottest verse on that record?
It never came out.
Which record? You
talking about the one that I was putting together with
Yeah.
him? It never came out. We never did it. I only have Crook's verse still in my email.
What record is this? You talking
The
about?
Swagger Like Us.
Oh yeah.
Oh, us rapping over that beat?
Yeah, that never.
No,
never
Joe
happened.
took your idea and
I know.
did the first Slaughterhouse.
I know, and then they Slaughterhouse and Sergeant Slaughter. I know. I never said nothing.
Wow.
It's all good.
Yeah,
Worked out.
so basically, Mac had an idea for all of us to jump on Swagger Like Us. Joe took the idea, called me, and said, yo, I'm going to put you, Crooked Eye Joel, Ortiz on the song. And Nino Bless. And I was like, oh, shit, that sounds like a Slaughterhouse. He was like, I might call it that. So he called the song Slaughterhouse, and that's how we became Slaughterhouse. You know what I'm saying? But
Synergy again.
it started out just on some competitive shit in our minds. And then it turned into, at least from my perspective, me realizing that I'm not as good as I thought I was. Because I was kind of seeing the culture, looking at the landscape through my own little microwave door. You know what I mean? Like through my own lens. You know, I'm in Detroit in the studio every day. Nobody that comes in the studio around any session of mine in Detroit raps better than me. You know what I'm saying? So I thought I was God's gift to lyricism. You know what I mean? And I specifically remember when we all started meeting up with each other and we were going to Red Spider's crib. And we were working on the second song that we did. And Crook flew in and he got in late. And everybody's verse was laid and everybody was talking shit, competitive shit. Like how me and Lupe and everybody was doing. That's always been fun to me. That's always been a fun part of it to me.
Right.
Crooked Eye came in late off a plane. He was the last one there. We ain't really know each other like that. We was more comfortable with each other than we were with Crook because he was way on the West Coast. Man, that nigga came in and
Body.
stepped on niggas. And did it fast too.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And it was like when he did that, I remember being like, shit. And not really wanting to kind of admit it because I thought maybe it may be a fluke. And then he just kept,
He just kept doing it.
he just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And then it turned into, well, maybe this can kind of be his role in the group.
The anchor, the last
When it came
two.
time to doing the album, you know, I just kind of started to take on the
He was
form
set
of
it
like,
off.
Yeah, I know he was,
I kind of started taking on the form of like the person that kind of oversees the records. And once everybody start kind of like playing more of a position, then it turned special. When we was trying to just out-rap each other, it was just some internet shit. You know what I mean? But once we start making records and everybody start falling into a position and start getting comfortable with playing that position, as long as nobody tried to step in somebody else's role, shit pretty much clicked really easy. You know what I'm saying? So at that moment, I stopped even putting myself under the pressure of trying to out-rap Crooked. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Crooked Eye, man. Shout out to Joel. Shout out to Joe.
Y'all will pull it back
The
together.
saga continues.
Word.
It's Hoffa. Trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rappers. Got bars I can hang with the backpackers. Trap star, I don't hang with the backpackers. I'm in the hood with the work you heard. Making fiends leave earth you heard. Got your baby mama thirst you heard. Feel the flow, nigga, throw it in reverse. This the wave you need to surf you heard.